So here we are again, and this is the right ear from Bergoglio. That doesn't really help us, but this one is the one with the mole, the left ear. Yeah. Or shadow. It might also be a shadow. Huh? And our Jonathan Pryce doesn't have that. So we saw that. So sometimes those hidden rulers or actors put out that have a totally different life otherwise and are just acting their part when we see them. Not as actors in dramatic plays, but as actors in reality. Yeah. Sometimes they are the ones that, we think they are, but sometimes they aren't. In these famous people, I hardly ever found a match. But on these crisis actors in the Las Vegas shooting, it was clear they weren't even really taking it seriously, because they were laughing while telling, oh, I heard people scream and there was loud noise and stuff. Huh? Are you laughing because people are afraid? He was like giving it away, the bearded man that yeah. And sometimes people injured have like lost a leg and then weeks later they're able to walk with it. Stuff like that just can't happen, So we find this Taurus, the bull, also in the sky, and the Pleiades. A lot of stones are part of it. So these symbols, like now the bull also found in the sky, that one really isn't because it exists in the sky. I mean, they don't show us the bull all over. It's because of the Taurus that they show it that often. And also because people, owned animals in earlier days. So by these animals they had wealth. So in Hebrew, Aleph, the first letter, sometimes means ox, wealth. Here we have it, Aleph, ox. The next would be Beth, house. And it's funny how it looked like. It looked like a swastika somehow, this one, in ancient Hebrew. Yeah. Aleph, I checked a few sources, but also in runes it's the same. There is Futhark, and the second letter also means ox, sometimes Fehu as well, because it also means wealth and money. So in Futhark, the rune alphabet, how come that the most, important that people had to survive their cattle was put right there? Well, because, it was important to survive. You cannot survive without the animals. They give warmth, they give milk, they give meat, they give the fur, they give their veins or whatever is used for, binding things and stitching things together that should not fall apart like cloth. So the runes I once have been into quite a lot, so it's not just that I'm naming the first one, I really learned the meaning behind certain runes and stuff. So they take the leader animal wherever they are in the world. That could be a bear or a lion, and then they put that one like that into sky, maybe because there are bright stars, and we just put the bright star in the star sign Lion, and then a bright star is in Virgo. You know, every bright star got its own sign. Yeah, but also this bright stars that just are there give this very funny coincidence that Stonehenge got its blue stone in a place far away. They carried that blue stone from miles and miles to Stonehenge. So Lundy Island and the Calde Island, and also above the Purcell Bluestone Quarry, can be put together in a triangle that looks about similar or is the same like in the sky. So early ages, they just had, in the beginning of symbology, the stars, so they put them on ground as Stonehenge. And nowadays we have products like this, so every little bit is designed to do the same. This isn't the same, well, like the big one with the Bluestone Quarry, it is a bit the same, but we would have to be correct and say it's not exactly the same. They chose this figure because it's Toblerone, and it gives them the chance to not give you a ice that would be as big like this, going here, 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 filling the whole package. No. This one is less material they are selling to you. You know, we started with a checkerboard floor, so actually it's a business that you do on these black and white floors. And also that one might be the triangle, the rectangle that you need to create one of those checkerboard floors. You know, if you go making, yeah, well, not really. It's a bit too steep. You know, if I do this from here up here, now I should have one triangle of the checkerboard floor. Can you see that? So it's a bit, this is too pointed to get a triangle from the checkerboard floor, you know. I remember it differently. So now that we know that they just always look for the leading, like star, the brightest star, and put it into their history, we know that this Orion from Oreos yesterday, the other video, and also in general the star sign Orion just happened because they choose the leading, whatever it is, you know, one, the best, the strongest, to become a symbol for them. But Orion also in the Scandinavian Sea seems to be a depiction in the sky for the people on the seas, the Phoenicians, the financial elite. that shows them the way how to cross further up. This is Great Britain right here. So there you see the star sign and this very famous Orion's belt that now gets read as being a phallus as well, because it's about fertility. Also the pine cone from the evergreen tree is about fertility. And the sun, by the way, and the moon that come together. In the Nebra disc, one of the oldest ancient finds in Europe, they depict the moon and the sun, it seems. And Orion as well, by the way. What else it means, we don't know. We cannot go back and ask. But this is either a piece of art or something like a newspaper. There are different says about it, but at least you can see that they cared about the sun, the moon, and Orion, and Gemini, and Venus, and Perseus, and the Pleiades. This looks like a crown, the northern crown, but it seems to be the Pleiades, these many stars at the same spot, which is funny. Yeah, there is this Gil Broussard I talked about quite a lot, and he says it's a river down here, and it's when not the sun and the moon were in the sky at the same time, but some Nibiru or unrecognized planet. So that's what they wanted to show here. It happened when you are standing on a hill and look down on the river, then above you you have Orion and these heavenly bodies happening. A newspaper. So we had that maybe there was this historical happening and they cared about what was happening in the sky, or it was that it was just, again, the sun being the leader of the nature, giving photosynthesis and making fruit ripe, and therefore people have to eat because of that. Also the animals eat that grass and stuff, the fruits, and some of the animals we use as human beings. Maybe that one made ball sports so important. And it's the sun in myth and art. So it's a UNESCO paper that states this, they are evil. They are just privately, again, putting into action what the elite plans. And we aren't asked because it's a non-governmental, organization. So here it's about, again, the Olympics, and again it's the UNESCO writing about it. And since the Sumerian Gilgamesh story, this dates back. Nowadays, UNESCO, then they started with this sun worship, worshipping the one that dies, like in the Hollywood movies where someone dies and comes back. Ooh, well, that's the sun. So 4th of July is when the sun is farthest from us. So this gets celebrated in America. And here we have the checkerboard floor. And it's not the one that I just tried to draw, because this one is near square. Can you see when I put it like this? Yeah. So the two triangles needed to form one of these, which now is a 6/5, that they had inscribed in Washington as well. It's a near pyramid.